Good evening, guys. Hope you people are doing very good and wish you very happy learning about the Python. And in this today's video series, I'm just want to discuss about the function that has a very good role, a very important role to in the upcoming Python program. So I just directly jumped into the function. So I just want to discuss what is basically function and what is the importance of the function in the Python program. Function are basically useful for breaking up a large program. That means in the function, they are just breaking up the large program in a huge program. We do not need to write down program again and again. So if we just write down one function, and if we just recall that same function again and again, then we can easily see the same thing can be happen in a very short span of time with a very limited time of limited writing code. How it works we can easily understand after running some of the function program. And it also avoid writing the same code at several different points. I already discussed this point as well. So better to go directly to the program, how it works and what is the function. Then you can easily understand. In here we can see that we just take the value x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 6 and z is equal to x plus 5, and then we just write down the print the z. In here what they're doing, that within z x value and the y value 5 plus 6, that is 11. They're just writing, after writing this program, after writing the print z, they are giving the output 11. In here we can see the function to add two numbers, keyword, common number of function, parameters, and return values, two parameters. How it works, how we write down the function in the Python. In here guys, remember the def, we use the def word. Def, we are just writing down the one function, that is the add function, add underscore 2. We can take anything, any name, a b c d, any name. Then we just use the two value x and y. Then we just write down the a is equal to x plus y. That means whatever the x and y value will be there, that value will be added and keep inside the a. Then return a is equal to, that means whatever the a value will be there after adding x and y value, that will give the printout. How it works, let's see. I run that program, there is nothing input and nothing printout because there is no x and y value. Now we can see in the function add underscore 2, we are using this function name add underscore 2 in here also, and we are passing two value 5 comma 6, because we can see that x and y we are just taking the two variable. In here I am also passing 5 and 6, it means two numbers. If I pass two numbers, that two number, it goes directly to x and y value. Then they're just performing that this a function within a x and y value is added. Then they're just giving the output in here 11. But remember, whatever the value, if I am passing the three variable, then just remember I have to use the three variable. If we are not sending the same number of the variable in here as well, then that will throw the error. We can easily see in our next program. So as simple as it is, just remember we are passing two numbers here, two variables here, so we are passing two values here. So basically function, we have to use the same function name add underscore 2. If you take the a b c, you have to use the same name here as well. Then the same number of the x and y is there, two variable is there. So you have to remember that if you are using the two variable in function, you have to be send the same two variable by calling that function. Again we are just changing the two number, we are not writing down the whole program, we are just passing by using the add underscore 2 this function name add underscore 2, and we are sending the two different number 11 and 12. Then if I run that program, we can see that the 11 and 12, if you just make it plus sum, then the output that goes to 23. So now we are not writing down this whole 3-line program, we are just sending two value by calling the same function name add underscore 2, and after that the whole operation it goes automatically. In here you can see that I am using, and earlier I am using two variable x and y within add underscore 2, this name of the function. But right now I am just using 3 variable. How it works? Let's see. In def is the process to write down the function. Def add underscore 2 x, y, z. That means we are just sending 3 variable x, y, and z. Then within a variable, I am just doing the operation x plus y plus z. Then print a. I just write down the program here. Then I am just calling that same function add underscore 2. I just write down here. In here we can see that 3 variable I am using x, y, and z. I am also passing the 3 number 10, 20, and 30. Then after taking these 3 number, within a variable x plus y plus z, that means 10 plus 20 plus 30. That operation is going on, and after finishing the operation they are giving the output is 60. If you add 10 plus 20 plus 30, these 3 numbers they are taking, x is 10, y is 20, z is 30. Then within a they just summation all the x, y, and z value, then just giving the output. So that is 60. If I change the same number 50, 50 plus 10, if I change these 3 variable, if I change that number, if I run that program, then we can see 50 plus 50 plus 10, that output that comes the 110. Because this add underscore 2, add underscore 2, they are calling this function and they are just sending this different number. That means basically function help us to reduce to write down the same program again and again. Here the most interesting things is there, add underscore 2 50 comma 10. If I run that program, in the last time I already discussed 2 minutes back that I am using 3 variable here within this function x, y, and z. And if I am passing 2 number 50 and 10, that in that case they will just throw the error. What is the error? Type error, add underscore 2 function missing one requirement positional argument. So we have to use another value. Then only the operation will be, then only this program will be going to be performed. Otherwise it will throw this error, the missing error, missing requirement positional argument. Now I just write down the function to find average of 2 numbers. What is the formula of that? So I just write down the def average avg2, that is the function name. I already told the function name doesn't matter, you can take any name. So we are just using the avg2, then we are just passing x and y2 value, and the return x and y value divided by 2. That is the formula of the average. Then if I'm passing, if I run that program and if I just pass 2 value 10 and 20, if you plus it, 10 plus 20 is equal to 30 divided by 2 is equal to 15. So that's why they are giving the output is 15. Then function to find out square of sum of 2 numbers. How we can do that? We are just using the def function def sum sq, and within sum sq function I am just passing x and y value. Then we are just return x plus y, then double asterisk 2, that means whatever the value will be there, multiply with the same value. That means if I run the program, 10 plus 20, that is 30, multiply 30 with the same number. We can write down in this way, the double asterisk 2, that means that will be multiplied with the same number. If I am just taking the small number, suppose 1 plus 1 and 2, and I just run the program, the 9 will be going to be output, because they are just performing this this x plus y, that is 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Double asterisk 2 means 3 into 3. 3 will be multiplied with the same number, then the output that comes into 9. Then function to determine if a number is in given range or not, one parameter. So that means that def we are checking that as underscore range, that is the function name. Within function name I am just passing one value, that is the x value. Then I am just write down the condition. What is the condition? That is the if x greater than 50 and x less than is equal to 100. If the value is greater than x greater than 50 and x less than is equal to 100 within this value, then the print will be there, this one, it is in the range. If this condition is not true, in that case, in the else condition, then the printout will be the not in the range. So let's see how it works. So I am just calling the function name as underscore range, and I am just passing the 60 values. If I just run the program, it is in the range, because x is basically the more than 50, this condition is true, and again this condition is also true, the x is 60 is less than is equal to 100. If I am using that x is equal to 200, what will happen? Let's see. Why it gives not in range? Because right now the x value is 200. So this 200 goes inside this x. Then this if condition, they are checking the if condition. X is basically greater than 50. It is not true. Sorry, x is greater than 50. That is the true. 200 is greater than 50, and this condition is not true. 200 is not less than 100. So that's why this condition they are not performing. They are just come in the else condition, and within else condition they are just print out not in range. Now we are just passing the three parameter. In suppose in def max 3, this is the function name. We are just passing ABC. So we are just write down the condition if a greater than b and a greater than c. So then that print will be a. So we are just write down the a value is greater than b and c, then only they are giving the a. In if b greater than a or b greater than c, if b number is greater than a and b greater than c, in that condition both the condition will be true, then in that case they are giving the b output, and again else return c, otherwise they will print out the c. How it will be work? Then if I run that the same function max3 function, yeah, I am giving the 5 1 2. So in that condition they are checking the a is the 5 is greater than, they are just passing 1 5 1 2 this value inside that a b c. Right now the a value is 5, b value is 1, c value is 2. Then they are checking 5 is greater than 1 or not. Yeah, it's true. And 5 is greater than 2 or not. Yes, it's true. So that's why they are giving the output a. If suppose the b value I just want to change, instead of 1 I am using the 10. If I run the program, both the program, then we can see that the first condition, the 5 is greater than b, it is not true because 5 is less than 10. So in that case they are checking the elif condition. So in elif condition they are checking the 5 the 10 is greater than 5 and 10 is greater than 2 as well. So in this program they are whatever the value will be the biggest one within this three variable, so they are giving the output. So basically we have to learn that this program you need not write down again and again. You just write down once, then we are just using the max3 function name. We are here, we are just passing all the values, all the three values, different three values. The program will be performed automatically again and again. So that is the basically magic of the function in Python program. Now create a function that will take two number as argument and will return the minimum of both. It is just opposite of the previous program. In previously we are just returning the maximum number. In here we can see we are just returning the minimum number. How we can do that? We are just using that min function. Min function name, this is the function name min1. We can take any name. So def min1 a and b, we are just passing two values a and b, and within w values we are just passing the min a comma b. Basically this min, this is the Python inbuilt function. We do not need to condition write down any of the previous program condition. In the min condition, if we run that min here in this function, basically whatever the value a and b we will going to be passed, they will just giving the output and they will return the w. So if I run that program and if we pass by calling the min1 function 5 and 2, within 5 is the value of the a and 2 is the value of the b. So the min function automatically will give whatever the minimum value. Minimum means this is the less value. 5 and 2, we easily know that the 2 is the less value, so that's why they are giving this 2. If I am, instead of using the 5, if I am using the a as a 1, so in that case they are checking 1 and 2, which is the minimum. 1 is the minimum, so that's why they are giving the output here 1. But just remember guys one thing, that in this function we are using two values, and I am also passing by calling this same name, the min1, that is the function name, and I am passing the 1 and 2, that is the these two variable. Then the condition is there. Again I am using the different function name def min underscore number a comma b. So if a less than b, then that will be written a, or else return B. So in that case I am just passing this, after running this program I am just passing two values 3 and 5. 3 is the minimum value, they are just checking this condition whether 3 is less than 5 or not. Yeah, this is less than 5, so in that condition they are just giving the output of the 5. Instead of 3, if I am using the 7, if I just run the program, I am not changing anything. So we can see within 7 and 5, 7 right now A value is 7, B value is 5. Then if condition they are checking 7 or less than 5, this condition is not true, so that's why they are just directly goes inside the else condition. In else condition they are not checking anything, because already they check one condition, A is less than B, no, then the other condition is true, that means they are giving the output, that is the 5. Taking two numbers from user input and adding those numbers take as a string. How it will be taking one? So to take the user input, we can use the x is equal to int. Int means integer value, and input enter a number, and we are using purple color bracket, and in input also I am using the yellow color first bracket. And outside int, that means basically we have to take the integer value. Then we are using def function, if you can see, that is basically the function name. Then we are just passing x comma y, then we just write down the program return x plus y. So if I run that program, that is asking for the user input. Suppose I am taking the 5, that is the first input x, then I just enter it, then they are just going to take the another value. Suppose I am taking the 6 as a y value, then I just make it enter, and that run the program. If I run the program, we can see 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. So that's why they are giving the 11. How it gives the 11? We are using another variable, that is the z. By using the z, we are just calling the function this func. This function name in here, we are passing x and y two value, that is the 5 and 6, and there we just print out here the z value. How it works, and x and y, these two value goes inside this one, this def function, and within def function, what the operation they are doing, the return, they are just adding it, x plus y. So the first we are taking the 5, then second the y value we are just taking the 6, then they are just returning 5 plus 6, that value is 11. Then after that they are just printing the z. In here we are just changing the value here, z, within z we are just passing 60 and 50. If we are just doing that, they are doing the same again, these two value they are passing in here, this program, and then the 60 plus 50 is 110, they are just giving the output 110. Now we can see that how to calculate the BMI. So we are just writing, taking some name, user input, we are just taking enter your name, we are just use the string, and then how we can take the user input, again weight and height, they are the integer value, that's why we are just write down the int. Then we are using the yellow first bracket, the input, into within input again we are using the first bracket, that is in the purple color, and we are using the within first inverted comma, whatever you can write down anything, enter number, enter weight, anything you can write down. So we just write down enter your weight and enter your height. Then I just run the program. They are just asking for the name. Suppose my name is Pinaki, so I am just taking my name is Pinaki. Then I enter it. Then my height is 6 feet. I am just taking it that as a 6 feet, and then then weight. Suppose I am just taking the 6 kg, and height is suppose 2 feet. I am just taking this value. Then if I just run that program is just calculating the BMI, and how it calculate, I just explain you that I am just write down that one function, that BMI underscore funcs, and within that I am just passing, I am taking that user input name, I am just passing name, then I am just taking the weight, I am just passing that weight, and then that is the height, then I am just passing this height. Then what is the formula to calculate the BMI? That is, I am just taking the one variable, that is BMI is equal to weight divided by height divided by 100 multiply double asterisk 2. That is the formula to calculate the BMI. I just write down the program, and then I just return the BMI. Then I just print out the height. I can take any kind, I can print out the weight, I can print out the BMI, anything I just write down here, I can run that, and the output, it will give, the program will give the output directly. In here all the values, the name, weight and height, they already take it. From the earlier I used the my name is Pinaki, weight is I already used the 6 kilo, and the height I used the 2 feet, and the BMI I already passed it. So now you can see that how it print that name is they are printing. They are using the user input earlier, the Pinaki. The weight I already used the 6, so that's why they are just giving the weight, they're passing that weight. The height I am using the user input 2, so there's this 2, and the BMI I already told you, this BMI already they are calculating it, and in here I just want to print out my BMI, that is the 15,000. If you change the number, you can do it, and you can see take it as a fun. You can calculate your own BMI by writing this program. And then when you are just print out this variable, then you can easily identify your name, your height, your BMI, everything. Then what is the difference between 40 and 100? I am using this BMI function. I just called them. I just passed two value, the name, height, and weight and height. Suppose I'm taking the height is 40 and the weight is 100, and in that case they're calculating the same program and they are giving the output that is 40. If I change that one, and the value will be going to be changed, and they are giving the output here. Now write a function that accepts a number and return the table of the same. In the suppose I need the table of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, any table. If I need to write down that table, so I need to how I can write down this program. Suppose I just need to write down this table 6th. How I can write down by using the function? It is very easy. By I just use the table underscore of underscore n. I am just taking this function name, and I am just passing one variable, that is n. That is basically anything, a, b, c, anything you can pass it. Then for I in range 1 to 11, that basically table you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 into 1, 6 into 2 till 10th. How it will go? That loop it will help to go 1 to till 10th. So we know that this last number is not included, so that is the journey. So we just use the one loop, 1 to 10th will be there. Then we just print that n value. This n value, whatever the n value will be there, then I just multiply. I use the asterisk, so this asterisk will be there. Then I, what is the I? That is the loop function 1 to till 10, it will be there. Then they are giving the output is equal to, they are using the is equal to here, and then they are just taking the I value and the n value, then they multiply it here. So if I run that program, if I just run this one, if I change instead of 6 I am just using 10, then you can easily see that they are using the 10 number, because they by table of underscore n, this is basically this function name, and I am passing this 10 to till n. Then the whole program is running 10 into 1, 10 into 2, 10 into 3. In this way, they're just performing this program. Now write a function that counts number of vowel and consonant in a string or the word. If you want to check that how many vowels and consonant are there in a word, so how I write down this complex program in Python by using the function. I am using the def of con. I am using this function name, and I just pass one st. Then I am just taking vov is equal to 0, con is equal to 0. These two are like the empty. We are just considering this two variable will be going to be used in this program. Then I just use that for I in st, and whatever the st will be there, whatever we are just passing in st, then they will check if I in this one, I in, if in this I, a, e, I, o, u, the capital one, and the small one, a, e, I, o, u, this 5 plus 5 capital vowel and 5 small vowel. I am giving the condition, if you find this a, e, I, o, u, the capital and the small, then you are just increase the v of v, this variable increment, plus is equal to 1. Else rest of the things all will be consonant, so I am just increasing it by writing con plus is equal to, it means it is increasing automatically. Then return verb and consonant. Then we can return a verb and consonant, how many vowel and consonant will be there. We just write down the program, and then within verb con, this verb con is basically the function name. In here also we are using the verb con, this is the same function name, and we are just passing the hello value. hello string. So we are just passing it here. This hello is goes inside the st. Then st, they are checking that this ae, how many ae iou is there, capital and small, they are in counting. Then rest of the things all are consonant, they are counting, they are giving the output here. Then if we see here, we can see in hello e and o, these are two vowel, so they are giving the two output, and these three are the all consonant h, l, l. If we are changing in here by using pi data, suppose in here, if we are just passing the pi data, if we just passing it here, in here we can see this a and this a, these are the two a, these are the two vowel, so that's why they are giving the two vowel. If I increase the one vowel here, we can see three vowel is there, rest of the p, y, d, t, these four consonant, they are giving the output. And we are just checking that whether which kind of this parameter it is basically a tuple. So we are just simply print out the type A, so they are giving the output, that is the tuple. Now keyword parameter argument is keyword. So what is the keyword argument? We are using the def function print dt. We are passing the product and cost, these two variable. In print, we already know in the dictionary we are using the two parameter. One is the key, one is the value. So we here passing the a and b, these are the two key, and against these two key we are just passing the product, and b key is there in perspective of the b, we are using the cost is the value. So we are just write down these two, and we are passing in the product, this product I am passing the product the pi data value, that right now the product value is pi data and the cost value is 0. So that's why when we just print out a dot product, this product is already passing out the pi data, that's why they are giving output pi data, and we are passing the 0, the cost is 0, so they are giving the b value, the b key pair is the 0, so they are giving the 0. If we change here, instead of using the 0, if I am using the 100, we can easily see that our b value is already changed, our cost function is already changed. This cost function, instead of using the using the 0, right now the cost function is 100, so that's why they are giving the output, that is the 100. You can change the pi data explorer. So if I just run that program, you can easily understand that product value is already changed, so that's why they are giving the pi data explorer value. Now we are changing in a different, cost is equal to 44 and product is explorer. Suppose this cost is right now I am just changing here to 44, and the product is the only the explorer. I am changing the value. If I run that program, and then the explorer and the cost, that function that goes on inside the a and the b. It doesn't matter you are using the first cost or the first product. Basically they are taking this word and they are just passing it inside that. Then after that they are corresponding to a, they are passing the product value, so that's why they are taking the explorer value, and within the b they are passing the cost value, so that's why they are just taking the cost one. The cost is 44, that's why they are giving the cost value. The sequence is doesn't matter. Then if we want to change this value into the chocolate, 20, then in that case they can change easily the key value pair. Key value pair means a and b. Right now the chocolate is basically the product, the first is the product, so in here they are taking the chocolate value, and the last two number is 20, they are taking the cost is 20. So in the case of here they are printing the a value, the chocolate, and the b value is 20. So if we change that one, that also doing the same thing. The first thing, the first point, the 20, that is the a value, they are taking it, and the second point is the chocolate, that is the basically right now they are taking the cost. So if you are not considering anything, the first value they will take the first one, and the second value will be the second one, then the first value go inside the a, that's why they are giving the 20 input, and the second value we are just taking the chocolate, so that's why they are giving the b value, so that is the chocolate. This is the dictionary key value pair passing out. So we are doing nothing, basically we are just writing on one function, and we are passing the product and cost parameter, and according to that parameter they are just checking taking those value as a key value pair in a different way. But if we run that one program, in the last time I already told that if you are passing the two value in here, if you are passing in your function print dt product and cost, if you are passing the two function is there, and if you are passing the only one value, that in that case the Python program will be automatically throw one error, that is the missing one requirement. So you have to have passed two values here, because in the program you already pass two value, product and cost. Now you can see that first name we are using the PyData, and the last name we are using the Explorer. Now I just want to print like that way, that my first name is comma first name. I want to pass out, I passed the first name here. They will take the first name value, that PyData, and my last name is this last name, this value. If I run that program, you can see that my first name is this first name value is PyData. This first name value is PyData, so that's why they are giving the PyData here, and in here, and my last name is the last name value, that is the Explorers here, and my last name is Explorer. In this way we can also pass the values of the parameter. We are using the two parameter, first name and last name, and by using this, these are basically the variable. Within this variable we are just passing two values, PyData and Explorer, and these two values how we can just pass out here, by using the variable name, the first name and last name, they can easily passed out that PyData and Explorer, these two values in here. Same thing it can be passed in a string. It is not explained earlier, I'll explain later on, but just remember one thing, I just use that these two values, the same variable, first name and last name, PyData and Explorer, by using the print my first name is the second curly bracket, and in here, and last name is the second curly bracket. Dot format function, how it works, within dot format function we are using the last name, that is the Explorer, we are passing it in the first place. That means this variable it will going to be in here, and I am using the first name, this variable first name, it will going to be last. In here the sequence it matters. If we run that one, we can easily see this Explorer, the last name that goes in the first, and this PyData goes in the second. If we change the sequence, suppose I am changing the sequence here, in that case you can see now I am passing the first name in the first place. So in here you can see that the first name, I am using the first name in first place, so that's why the first name value, that is PyData, it goes the PyData first, and the last name I am using in the second position, so last name the value is the Explorer, so it comes here in the second position, in the second bracket. And here I am also doing the same thing, I'm just passing it directly the first name in here, my first name is the first name variable, and the last name will be the last name variable. So in that way we also can pass this value by using the same variable directly within the print statement. Now this is not the last program, last on the list. Please be concentrate on this program, please focus on that, guys. Now in the first name I am using the same variable, the PyData, and the last name in the Explorer, but we are using that my first name is the first name and the last name is the last. Dot format function, last is equal to last name and first is equal to first name. Basically what they are doing, in the last name, this last name, they are taking this last name as a variable, that is the last, and this first name we are taking the variable of the first, and this last and first we are passing inside the second curly bracket. This first, that means the last name, sorry, the first name, this first name of PyData, that will coming first, and here we are just passing the last. If I run that program, then we can see in the first, this first it goes inside, because in the last program we just discussed the sequence matter, but in here we change the sequence, we use the last name, but we are using this variable last in last position and first in the within first position of the second bracket. So in this way also we can just passing our value. So if we are using here this one in the last, and this is the first, if I just run that program, then you can see that my first name is Explorer. Why explorer? Because they are taking the last variable. What is the last variable? That is the last name. What is the last name? That is the explorer. So that's why they are taking the explorer. And after that, and last name is the first. What is the first? The first that variable is the first name. What is the first name? That is the PyData. So that's why the PyData it comes here. And that's it about the function, guys. And I believe you learn a lot about the function, about the program. It will help you in your long Python programming language journey in your career. And in case if there is any doubt, anything, any doubt is there, please let me know, and please uh, feel free to contact me in my contact number, and I'll be available in all the time with you guys. And thank you so much. That's it for today's video. Thank you. Wish you all the best.